Hey guys, so I'm currently doing a rework of the fantastic As the Rush Comes by Motorcycle, and I thought I'd share with you how I make the progressive style bass on the MOOG Messenger. Okay, so let's break down that progressive bass on the fantastic MOOG Messenger. Bring up oscillator 1 to maximum in the mixer. Select the wave shape to sawtooth. Oscillator 2 exactly the same, bring that up to maximum again in the mixer. And also select the wave shape to sawtooth. Now we're going to increase the oscillator 2 frequency by 7 semitones upwards, which will create a fifth. Give some really nice overtones. Now for the low end, sub oscillator is going to be a triangle wave. Again, bring that up to maximum. Can really feel the bass on that. Right, and now for shaping the filter envelope, bring the cutoffs to 0. Open up the EGM out to maximum. Right, and I've already modulated the filter envelope. Okay, so I've already adjusted the filter envelope so we can copy those settings. So attack is 0, decay 11 o'clock, sustain 12 o'clock, and release at maximum. For the amplifier envelope, we've got attack at 0, decay at 12 o'clock, sustain at maximum, and release 12 o'clock. I mean, the sustain, the reason I went for maximum is I felt it just gave the sound a bit more oomph, a bit more low end. Some extra presence in the bass. Okay, a few other changes. Keyboard tracking I've got on. Just opens the envelope a bit at the higher registers. And also got filter envelope velocity on, and that's going to be a major factor to creating the groove sound within the DAW. So we're going to be using the velocity on the piano roll to adjust that filter envelope. Okay, so now we have that core sound. Let's jump into Ableton. Okay, so now we've built our sound on the Moog. Let's hear it in the mix.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the air, but I don't care. We drift deeper, and life goes on. We drift deeper into the sound.
Okay, so if I open up the piano roll, we can see the notes I've used. And then if you look under each note, you can see I've used a different velocity. And because we set the filter envelope velocity on the Moog, that's just going to change the amount of filter cutoff for each note, giving it a bit more groove. Okay, so processing wise, I've added a drum bus just to give it some extra beef. EQ wise, I've boosted the fundamental frequency, that's 50 Hertz, which is G, by about 6 dB. I've cut the mids around 200 Hertz just to get rid of some muddiness. High shelf I've just boosted just to help it cut through the mix a bit better. Then effects wise, so the delay has quite an impact. If I turn the delay off, and now turn the delay back on, you see the difference. Okay, so delay set to 3/16, feedback at 30, dry wet at 30, ping pong. I've also got some reverb, and I'm using an audio effect rack for that with 2 chains. I've got a dry chain with no effects and a wet chain with Valhalla vintage reverb. That's set to 100% on the mix, 100% wet. EQ wise, low cut 500 Hertz just to get rid of some of that muddiness from the reverb. EQ high cut 10,000 Hertz. Then what you need to do is adjust the wet signal to get the right balance. So I've had quite a drop on mine, minus 20 dB. If I put that back to the default, you hear the difference. EA, so way too much. Let's bring that back to minus 20. And then the secret sauce is adding a sidechain compressor right after the audio effect rack. Make sure the sidechain is coming from the track itself. So in my case, Messenger bass. Then select audio effect rack dry. And what that's now going to do is, by adjusting the threshold, it's going to adjust how much of the wet chain is being ducked every time the dry chain hits. So in other words, every time you hear a note, it's just going to duck the wet chain on the reverb. If I play through and adjust the threshold, you hear the difference. So around minus 10 dB for me is perfect. And you can hopefully hear how that creates a perfect balance between dry and wet. Right after that, I've got an LFO sidechain, and that's to duck the bass when the kick drum sounds. I've set that around 50 on the volume, so not too impactful. And then at the end, I've just got a limiter, just allows to boost the volume a bit more. Okay, so now let's hear what that sounds like in the final mix.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the air, but I don't care.
If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. Check out atomicasounds.com for synthesizer presets and coaching services. See you next time.